We live? Yeah, I think I'm live, man. Good morning, everyone. People deluded. I'm back again. I hope you're all doing well and safe, whoever you are, wherever you are. While I'm saying good morning to those of you like myself over here in the UK, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and of course, good night, depending on where you lot are stationed in this world. Hope you're all having a good day, good night, whatever. Hope you're all having a good week. You know, we're at Wednesday, we're at the halfway point. I hope you all set your goals for Monday and you're attacking them aggressively and you're having a week to remember. Obviously, on Sunday, we got the Euro stuff to come. I'll be doing watch along, so make sure you're here. We're kicking off with I got to kick it off with the watch along. I can't lie, something is telling me England, Croatia, but I'm sure the first game is actually Italy and someone. But you know me, I'll be there, people. So content galore. All I have to do to entertain you lot today, or all I have to entertain you guys, is really just the same old things we're going over. Allegedly, Daniel X preparing a second offer for the club, which hopefully he's successful with. We'll touch on some other transfers and things like that. We've got a decent amount to go through. Please make sure you're hitting the like button and you're checking the pin message. You know, you lot are so nice. I've got to do it twice, people. After this watch along, give me a few hours. I'll be back again at 3 p.m. where we'll focus a bit more again on transfers. Maitland-Niles, and Maitland-Niles is the primary reason for it. So yeah, I hope you're all there. Let me be shameless and get a link for you guys as well, because I know despite the fact that this video will take you lot to a live stream, despite the fact that it is in the live pin message, some of you are goddamn lazy, but you know, it's all about making it easy for you guys. You lot are the consumers. So yeah, obviously, shameless plug, people. Make sure you're locked in for that one there. That's at 3 p.m. Obviously adjust that to wherever you are in this world. Yeah, the Euro starts on Friday. I'm thinking I didn't specify. It starts for England on Sunday, I believe. So yeah, either way, we've got hella content. So yeah, make sure you're here for that one. Obviously, shameless plug. Love for everyone that's been purchasing the merchandise and supporting the thing. There actually should be some more designs filtering through on this. So again, let me send you the link to that one. Enough of all of that, though. Let me see what you lot are saying, man. I'm hearing, man, like ISAK is on the list, bro. ISAK, Conde, here on all these players. Every player's on the list. It's about buying them, as you know, AM. So that's another story. We'll cover that as well. As I said, most importantly, make sure you're smashing the like button. 200 likes is the target. Let's do what we need to do. As Raz has said, shout the members, the subscribers, the long-term viewers. Hit the like button on your way in. Summer is here, lads. You know the Gallem are going to be looking. Anyone sporting that white DG shirt. Hey, stylish, great marketing. I appreciate that. You know, come on, I respect that, man. Does anyone think they will sell the club, John? God knows. I don't think anytime soon. I think this is another battle on the long war that we wish to go on if he is going to be successful. I say we because we want new owners and things like that. So yeah, lovely day for some good news. It is Chase, but again, we can't count our chickens before they've hatched. We actually don't know. And again, there was talk of him placing a second bid anyways the last time we spoke about him. So truthfully, I don't know where we're at in that regard or where we actually are going. But you know, our job is not to speculate. Our job is to document and just speak about what the endpoints are. So yeah, man, I think I speak for everybody when, you know, we don't know Daniel X plans beyond what he tells us, but I'm pretty sure everyone would rather him buy the club than the current owners of the football club. And you know, if rumors are to be believed, War Chess, ISAK, Odegaard, our Buendia, we just missed out, given the illusion that we're not going for Buendia because there's something bigger. All the propaganda pieces are filtering out and coming. Whether we'll see the players and the areas addressed, I don't know, but it is what it is in that regard. BG spamming the chat, mods time him out. Hey, could never from my old tig. I appreciate the bants though, man. So yeah, man. How you doing, DG? Lots of love from Zambia. Big up the Zambian ones. I'm good, George. I got my health. I can't complain. Big up the Nigerian viewers. We've got Lagos in the building. I appreciate you guys as well. Lagos, if I pronounced that, butchered that, because I was thinking about something while I was talking. I'm terrible at multitasking. Herb, I'm good as well, man. I hope you and everybody locked in is there, man. Rumors are not to be believed. I still think the takeover is a long way, but good news at least. At least it shows some sort of consistency, I guess. Ek deserves a Nobel Peace Prize if he's managed to save us from this dictator family we're dealing with. Big up DG. It does seem promising on paper so far. Again, I can't disagree with anything we're seeing so far, man. It is, well, it is. People are so upset with the Cronkies and recent events that literally anyone we're linked to who isn't your Basuma or Grealish level player is apparently accepting mediocrity. I do agree with that point generally being made, man. So it is what it is, man. But let's get straight into it now, man. Enough time wasting. Let's get straight into the rumour mill, which is Daniel Ek, allegedly. So look, as you lot can see here, people, hit the like button, smash the like button early doors. We'll go through a lot of these. We'll go through a couple of the papers being linked, that's commenting on being linked. Daniel Ek, better yet, being linked with buying the club, because I'm sure they've all got their own personal little spins, man. A man said, been AWOL for a while, but glad to be back. Hope you're well, DG. John, I'm well and safe, man. I hope you're good as well, and everybody else, man. Been rinsed in Spotify for a minute. I'm trying to hold shares in this takeover. I don't care. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I respect it. But as you lot know, Swedish billionaire Daniel Ek ready to launch a new takeover bid worth more than 2 billion after Spotify CEO's 1.8 billion proposal backed by Gunners legends was rejected by the Kroenke family last month. Now, as you lot know, it's going better yet. It's going to be a long drawn out battle. It was never going to be in a matter of months. I want to buy Arsenal Football Club. He's going to own it. This is going to be a long battle. We might not even see it done this year. We might not even see it next year. God forbid. We might not even see it in the next 2 years. But I hope that not to be the case. My point being, there's a man that doesn't want to sell the club. There's a man that does want to sell the club. Like in business, there's a common ground they're going to have to find. And my thing, as I've said with Daniel, because we have allegedly heard he's placed a second bid, then he hasn't, then he has. There's been a whole lot of other stuff and other little variations of this. The point has to be, Kroenke's a money man. He loves money. Everyone and everything in life has a price. What is that price for him? And as much as Daniel Ek can say, I'm an Arsenal fan growing up, I want to do this for the fans, I want to do that, he's a businessman. You don't become a billionaire by making the wrong decisions. And as much as he likes Arsenal and he wants to do things and all these things, at what point, or better yet, at what price does Arsenal, in his eyes or his consortium's eyes or his fellow investors' eyes, does Arsenal become not simply worth it? Because you're going to have to make an offer more than the club is worth. You know, we're valued at around 1.8 to 2-ish billion region. So I do think we're getting warmer. Personally, I believe 2.5 billion might get this one done, maybe just over that. And that's down to Daniel Ek. If he's got his business hat on, then of course there's a price you're not willing to go beyond. If it's a bit of the business and the love, a bit of the Roman Abramovich sort of thing, in that you don't necessarily care if it's a losing battle, but this is a love child for you. You want, you know, it almost serves your own ego having Arsenal at the top and things. And there's a lot of good things about what Roman's done. You know, Roman's ego, anything attached to him, he wants it to be elite, just like at Chelsea. So they're trying to get a third Champions League with the dust not even settling for the first one, and they're being linked with Haaland and all those sort of things. So the main point for me is, at what point does, you know, enough's enough? And again, it has to probably be an unrealistic bid to actually, you know, get this one done, people. But as you lot know, allegedly Daniel Ek is preparing to increase his Arsenal takeover bid to more than 2 billion. The Swedish billionaire had a 1.8 billion offer rejected by the Kroenkes last month. Ek is adamant that he's not going anywhere and wants to get a deal done. We all know his bid came in the walks of disgruntled Arsenal fans, in the wake of disgruntled Arsenal fans with the Super League and in general, people. As you lot can see here, he's preparing an offer. Apparently, Ek claimed that the under fire Gunners owners, the Kroenke family, had told him that they didn't need the money when he tried to buy the club last time. Again, exactly. We know they don't need money. We know these lot are rich. We know they've got several business interests. We know Arsenal is a pawn in their business model, in that we're used as collateral. We're probably used to wow business interests and things. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if, despite probably not knowing where Arsenal is, it wouldn't surprise me if Kroenke doesn't, you know, his advisors and his business partners from other industries, they have business about other proposals while at Arsenal, because it's a great thing. You know, I got this club in London, come and look at it. You know, that's what we're being used for. Where he's being used as where Arsenal's being used as a tourist attraction for his business interests, we're being used as a pawn for his little other interests and whatnot. And we're just firmly, unless something saves us, going to stay at the mercy of the Kroenkes, really and truly, because we're a family heirloom. Josh has already been getting his feet wet into the club and getting his feet under the carpet, and I know he twangs a lot of fans into believing he cares. He might care just a bit better than his father, but ultimately his last name is still Kroenke. That's where his allegiances are. He's still his father's child. at the end of the day. So make of it what you want. Again, they don't need the money. It has to be something ridiculous. But apparently sources close to X camp have disclosed that a second bid north of 2 billion is being readied and that they are not going anywhere and want to get a deal done. Club insiders have admitted they're waiting for a second offer. Now in business, of course, they probably are waiting for a second offer. But again, they said they're not going to sell. So this is we're gonna need bid 3, bid 4 and things like that, but we're getting warmer and warmer, and obviously these are all tactical things. He could have came out there and hit them out the ballpark instantly with a ridiculous bid, but again, who wants to pay more than they have to in general? So yeah, hopefully he's bidding. Obviously there's a lot of questions if Daniel Ek did buy the club and things, you know, who is his consortium, you know, is the talk to the actual, you know, is the talk to the actions going to be the same? It's all fun and games saying bring back Thierry, Vieira and Bergkamp, and I love them all. I want them all. But to quote Arsene Wenger, you can't create artificial positions. What specifically are they going to do? Yeah, they're more footballing men than some people. But again, if they're going to be in positions above board, then you know, they're going to be inexperienced. If you give Henry a sporting director job, you make Bergkamp technical this and Vieira technical that. Forgive my ignorance, but the most these lot have been doing is just coaching. So again, you know, we need to get kind of, I want people that represent Arsenal that know what it means, and who better than the legends? I want them around, but we need to have specific roles. We can't just go in dreamland and things like that. And also for Daniel Ek, for me, he needs to know that on the best of days, Arsenal is a losing game, and we're going to be losing for the first couple of years should he buy this club, and he's going to have to invest more money. Obviously, 2.5 billion or even more than that, which is probably overpriced in Arsenal. We're still going to need transfer fees. You know, we're still going to need to bring in executives and do several other things. So if he realizes this, recognizes this, and is prepared for this, fair play. There's a bunch of questions, like I said, provided Daniel Ek did take the club, but I'm prepared to deal with all of that when it comes, you know. When it came to this, hit the like button, people. 192 of you locked in. We can do a lot better. While when we spoke about the Super League, a lot of people said it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. I think the opposite is rings true for this. I'd rather the devil I don't know. Daniel Ek might be gassing. He might be selling dreams. He might be just a businessman as well. But I'm prepared to try them what we already know, because at least with Daniel Ek, at least he just gives me the vibe that he wants to put structure in place so that if he isn't necessarily hands-on, the club could continue. You know, my problem isn't the fact that the Kroenkes are barely at the Emirates and all of these things. Of course, I want a hands-on owner and all of this. My problem is that it's just not running the best way. I'm prepared to concede that I love football, but an owner might not. I don't have to see your face all the time, just as long as the club is running the right way. When the club isn't running the right way, you've got anonymous owners and you see executive freestyling. It's terrible practices, and a club is the same way a team is a reflection of the manager and Mikel Arteta. A club has to be a reflection of its owner. Slow, reactive, comfortable, stagnating, deceitful. These are all common things I find between Stan Kroenke and what he's made this club represent, really and truly. And for me, you know, we need to get him out, because again, Satan Spawn is there, his dad, you know what I mean, his son is going to get his feet wet in the club. And I think you got to be careful of Josh in particular, because you see Josh Kroenke, he recognizes, not like his dad, that football, or better yet, sports fans are very emotional, and he recognizes the need to chat and have some sort of dialogue. That scares me, people. But anyways, people, long story short, again, the Daily Mail saying a lot of things without saying the specifics. We already know Daniel Ek signals his intention when he did. What he said he wants to implement, and all of these sort of things, people. Apparently, Ek has, as well, we already know he's got the Arsenal legends. An offer of an extra 300 million may well test the Kroenke's resolves, despite an insistence that the club is not for sale. We all know they're very unpopular. We all know Daniel has said he's a fan since the age of 8 years of age. So again, apparently he's preparing. It's not been put at the door. And the best thing that this does is it keeps the pressure. It keeps the pressure in what is a summer where we say it every year, but a summer where we need to do a lot. So it keeps the pressure for the club to back their chat. It keeps the faith going with the fans that are doing up the Kroenke out and all of these sort of things to keep the faith. But for me, it's going to be a long battle. We're not going to I hope it's not. But if somebody doesn't want to sell it and someone does, only time will tell. You know, only time will tell. Something needs to give. Somebody's got to get emotionally broken to the point where, if hopefully it's the Kroenkes, they say, you know what, I've had enough of this. We've had a good little thing. We've done what we've needed to do. Or Ek might just say, you know what, I've tried this man, don't want to sell, because we've been here with Usmanov before. You know, Dangote was linked with buying the club. I don't, to my knowledge, he didn't put an offer on the table at any point. And I haven't even heard him linked with the club as well. You know, you only see his name linked with Arsenal Football Club when there's some sort of business interest, and he's been selling them dreams for a minute, people. So yeah, apparently the latest offer, looking at a new report, it's north of 2 billion, you know, which is up from his offer of 1.8. And obviously we know he wants the young, he wants the well, young in life sense, old in football sense, the old guard and the old legends of Arsenal to do their thing, people. And it would be nice. Who wouldn't want Daniel Ek at the club? You know what he's saying: fan ownership, bringing back legends, returning Arsenal, the fact that he's to where it used to be, the fact that he's a fan himself. All of these things are amazing to hear and great to hear, and you want to hear it, people. But again, testing resolve is testing the resolve. For me, the one thing I'm also helpful as well is that it keeps antagonizing them. You know, it's just going to keep antagonizing Stan and Josh and whoever. Anytime they think it's gone, you know, that this Daniel X going to shut up and be like, Dangote, he's back. And I like that. But again, I think it's going to probably take 3, 4, maybe even 5 offers. You know, again, would he pay 3 billion or close to that for Arsenal? You're probably reaching beyond being unrealistic and probably too expensive. You know, surely you start hitting the 0.5 regions, business can happen, because again, you're hoping Kroenke's just walk away, and for them to walk away, it's got to be something that they can't refuse. And one thing I'll give them in a business sense, they're very patient. They're very patient. They don't make moves just based on emotion, or they would have probably, you know, if it was based on emotion, they would have seen how us fans felt and actually invested. You know, it is what it is. They're very patient. You know, look what Stan Kroenke did from the moment he bought his first shares at Arsenal to how he slowly went about, you know, becoming the majority shareholder. And you look at his other best interest, you know, we're just, like I said, and the thing is with him, he doesn't give a crap about Arsenal. We're used for other interests. And again, you've got a club that, you know, you've doubled your money, your personal shares in without seeing anything. You've got someone which Arsenal are 8th and people want to buy the club. That is, you know, if this is any other walk of life, it's a madness. You've got an asset that can be sold at any time. You've got an asset, or better yet, a product where, you know, fans are always going to support it, no matter what we say about not buying this, not going this, not doing that. We're always, because we're so emotionally tied to this and attached to it, we're never going to drop this out. And he's able to play upon that. And when you've got something like this, a product like this, are you going to want to get rid of it? Because again, you're making money, and it's almost a short, easy banker. Recession or whatever, you know, fans are still going to buy shirts, still going to go season tickets, still going to do the other sort of things, man. You know, so it is what it is, people. Whether, again, the Daily Mail, all of these guys, they might be just lying and just trying to, you know, in a day and age where it's slow to get clicks in the transfer market, they could just be, you know, getting fans excited and getting Arsenal fans talking. We all know you make Arsenal fans talk, your engagement levels go up and things like that. It is what it is. When you look at it, is 300 million, an extra 300 million really going to tip the balance and tip the scales for Stan Kroenke? For me, probably not. Well, you can't really say anything to him. So yeah, people, apparently the club's current owners were insistent that no such offer was ever made, though a suggestion that was quickly refuted by Ek in a statement released on social media. And that's also a thing as well, because you're playing, you know, the gloves are off. You know, you can't bring a knife to a gunfight, and that's where it is with Stan, because clearly people around Arsenal are lying. You know, 1 minute there was a second offer, then there wasn't. There was a first offer, then there wasn't. Then there was something else who came out. We'll never know, people. So again, we'll never know. And again, one thing that might make this tougher is if at the time of Daniel Ek's interest in Arsenal and at the time it came about, it's nothing to do with him and he owes Kroenke nothing. And if Kroenke was doing his job, there'd be no protests and things like that. It's as simple as that. It's antagonized it, because fans are begging you to do things, and not even begging, they're demanding it. And then you've got this guy coming as a saint. It could antagonize you and obviously make negotiations that much tougher and that much impossible, people. Like he said earlier, if you didn't know what he said previously in relation to the first bid, I think it's important to correct the amount. This week, an offer was made to both Josh and their bankers that included fan ownership, representation at the board, and a golden share for supporters. And again, I'm very wary of looking at Daniel Ek as the Messiah, because I think if I go on his words, he's saying everything I want to hear: fan ownership, golden share for supporters, investing, returning Arsenal back to where it needs to be, having several players that reflect what Arsenal's about. All of that is all fans ever wanted. We've got no divine right to win trophies and do all of those things, and I'm pretty sure I speak for most fans when we say we don't expect that. But if you introduce these measures beyond the things we already know that need to improve at this club, we have half a chance. We have half a chance. We can do something. So I wouldn't mind it at all. But where I'm a bit wary of him is, I can't let my in the same way people were criticizing Emre and criticizing Arteta. You can criticize them, but they were letting that make them say they want this manager and that manager, which wasn't 30 at all and wouldn't happen. We've got to just not want any owner. Now, I don't know his life story. I don't know his morals. I don't know nothing about Daniel Ek. What I'm saying is, in life, do you, as an Arsenal fan, can we respect words? Can we back chat? I'm not saying he's not about he doesn't say what he means and means what he says, because he hasn't been given an opportunity to prove such. I'm just saying the flip side of the argument is he's a businessman. He could be selling dreams as well. He's saying the right things. He's a businessman. When you're a businessman, you know the element of timing. Are we surprised that disgruntled fans, in the wake of the Super League, you now saw this? And then again, you look at the language being used, while he's not a part of the club, this is the bullish sort of language, and the language that a lot of people that were involved with Arsenal used to use to arouse the imagination of Arsenal. So we've got to be wary of chat. Again, I'm not saying anything against him. I'm just saying we've got to just stop looking at him arguably as an angel and accept it and respect him for what he is. And listen, there's no doubt if he does want this club, he will do better than Kroenke, because he just seems to give a crap. When you give a crap about something and actually care about something, you're more likely to succeed, people. So it is what it is, people. He'll have to bide his time. Like I said, as a businessman, you know the importance of patience, people. And another thing that obviously concerns me is the consortium. With his money's longer than mine, but his money is not long enough where it's just him by himself. There's a consortium. What are the other people around? And also, I can't lie, you do get the vibe that, not in business, but in football, Daniel Ek comes across as a bit naive. And when I look at Bergkamp, Vieira, and Henry, I'm not saying that they're sinister or anything, but every human in this world is governed by self-interest. They might be able to manipulate him in a positive or negative way. And also, like I said, what the hell is going to be, what is going to be, what is the framework going to look like? Because too many chefs spoil in the kitchen, spoil the meal, really and truly. And you can't have everyone for the sake of it, man. Who disliked the vid? No clue. Who cares? Please make sure you're running up those likes, people. So in relation to Daniel Ek, that's it really. And that's it really and truly. We never know. We won't know what's going to happen, people. If we click on this, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Like you can see there, people. And that's one thing that gives me confidence with Daniel Ek, is that his camp have also insisted they're not going anywhere and want to get the deal done. So yeah, but the club are braced for an offer. So again, I hope Daniel Ek, they're thinking of that third offer. The second offer ain't even coming. They're thinking of the third. And for the fans, we must keep the pressure up. We must keep going. It's as simple as that, really and truly, to have half a chance, really, of getting this done and getting this guy gone, really and truly. But that's that, really and truly. What are you guys saying in the comments? Where do you lot stand on this whole Ek and Stan Kroenke thing? Do you lot think Ek is actually Daniel Ek, better yet, is going to be able to buy the club? Do you think it's a myth? Do you think it's selling dreams? What is it, people? Let me know. This Ek thing is still on. Finally, some good news. 100%. 100%. Put this club back on the map. Kroenke selfie, 100% he needs to sell. Did you hear an executive at KSE came out and said members of KSE, Josh Kroenke, and I quoted, wanted Henry as manager after Wenger as a shield to protect themselves as they have a face? The fans know. I haven't seen that, so I don't know for any well, go on for that, man. Come on, man. How's your morning been, DG? Better now that I've got a smoothie in, but it's always good, man. I woke up springing my step because we saw the Daniel Ek stuff and thought, you know what, it's time for a live stream, innit? Actually, half stuff to talk about. Run up the like buttons early, man. Do you think if the second bid is rejected, Daniel Ek will push again for a third? Asks George. Well, George has got no choice in it. Like, if he wants the club, you need to know who you're dealing with. You know, this is a man that shouldn't own the club, doesn't want to sell the club, and he's making money using us as a pawn in his dynasty. If you're going to buy it off Josh Kroenke, you need the fans to keep up their energy, but you've got to keep up your energy. You've got to be a thorn in their side. You know, the minute Arsenal slip up, he's got to be there. Even if Arsenal get top 4 next season, Arsenal fans have to do their job in getting this guy out, and Daniel Ek needs to be there. You're hoping that, you know, Stan just says it's either too much, or if Stan isn't around at that time, you know, Josh Kroenke says, you know what, I don't plan on doing this. You know, I'm not trying to do what my father is doing. I'd rather F off back to some sports where they rock with, man, and that. So we have to see. For me, it keeps the pressure up because, again, you know, the flip side of this, and maybe I'm living in a fairyland world and stuff in a day and age where you hope people can change what they want. You know, hopefully this, you know, I'd like to hope, seeing the fans protest, hearing the disgruntlement, hearing how happy the fans are, just the fact that the man's bidded a second bid or not bidded, it's been rejected, but we're happy. If I'm the owner of a club, you can't care about everyone's opinions, but that's surely got to hurt. You know, if I own something, you know, I would want the people who benefit from me owning it or whatever to not adore me on some sort of idolization sort of thing, but I'd feel some sort of way. So in an ideal world, you'd imagine, you know, Josh and Stan and all these guys, the penny drops and says, you know what, let's do something to please these fans. Let's kick ourselves up the bum and start acting, because maybe that, you know, if being linked with selling the club or someone wants to buy it off you means, you know, you're addressing all the areas, you're giving Arteta all he needs, you're putting the club in a healthy aspect, on and off the field in all aspects, then that's all fans wanted. That's all we want. You know, every time we speak about Josh and things like that, I always get some fans that say, oh, you wouldn't care if he spent money. You wouldn't care if he did this. Well, who would care if he spent money? Fair enough, he actually has spent money. We've mismanaged it, but he's underfunded it. That's your job. You know, I wouldn't care if he spent significant sums, if he addressed areas, if he had a novice manager for all his L's that he needs to take personal accountability of Arteta and surrounded him with experience, if he used foresight, if he employed the people, you know, because I actually don't mind these cost-cutting things and all these executives. I don't mind, provided the mandate is to have Arsenal in the best image, which I don't think it is. People come to this club, they start freestyling what their roles are. I do think a lot of people that aren't suitable in their roles are giving themselves, not only are they given a role they're not cut out for, but they're given way too much responsibility in that role than which some people that have been doing that role for years might not necessarily get. And on one hand, it's good, you get more experience, but on the other hand, it creates complacency. It creates people incapable of doing their job, because you have frustrating things like this, you know. Maitland-Niles, we're going to speak about him in my next live stream at 3 p.m. So I'm purposely not speaking about him. But last year, we rejected 25 million for him. Are you going to get something similar now, or are you now trying to sell him now? You rejected, and I'm going historically now because these guys have been the owners. You could have got 100 million off Alexis and Ramsey, or the people that you employed to do such could have. You know, we stopped these things happening. You know, you stop these reactive things happening if you employ people who give a crap. But he doesn't. He gives us a lot of chat and rarely backs it up. So this is why we're at where we're at. And every so often, you'll see articles filtered in from The Athletic that he's actually been at 5 games and 6 games, not actually just 1. Man said Dangote is waiting on someone to reply to his Spanish lottery email. Pardon me. But where's Dangote, though? It's 2021. He's capping, man. He's capping. Dangote and X should go in together. You're living a fairy tale there, Theo. They don't know each other from nowhere. And yeah, man, that's a fairy tale. At the moment, we have a lot of inexperienced people at Arsenal. And Liam, that's the problem. If you have inexperienced people, you either surround them with the best conditions that can mask their inexperience, or you find a balance and have people who've been down that road more times than you can imagine with people. You know, any other walk of life, if you employ a new manager, a first-time manager, you're going to surround him with experience, or put him on courses, or let him know a helpline's there. The same with Edu. You know, as much as I criticize Edu and Arteta off their own back, because I think they've got a lot to answer for off their own, you know, they haven't been set up in the right way, man. Arsenal is a sinking ship. It would be a perfect time to sell the club. Hope so, man. I'd rather no devils, trust me, but at the same time, Billionaires will always be there. I'm sure they're not the most ethical of people. I just want someone who cares, bro. I just want someone who cares. When I hear the way better yet, more so how I see Abramovich, when I hear, you know, Sky Sports, you know, the chairman or whoever of City talking about their season, what they're trying to do, that will gas me. When have you lot sat there and heard Josh and Stan off their own back talk about our season, talk about what's going on, what they're trying to do? That's all fans needed to do. Why do you think when Chelsea and City made a mistake with the Super League, their fans said for them and there, you know what, cool, you lot was moving mad, but you've got a good track record. For United and City, I mean, United and us, it's a bit different. Yes, we have spent money. Yes, United have spent money. But again, you know where I'm getting at that, man. I don't want Kroenke to make money, rather expend his billion on Arsenal and not give it to Kroenke. Frederick, it's not possible then, really and truly. It's a dream world. He'd have to, if he wants to buy Arsenal or do anything with his money for Arsenal, Kroenke would have to see the P's. So that don't make sense, my guy. But nonetheless, big up yourself, man. Eck has already communicated more with the fans than the Kroenkes have in 10 plus years. I think we are willing to try anything other than what we currently have. Alex, that's me. I'd rather try something we don't have because these men are not here. Eck and the Mail get their clicks while we're all getting mugged off. And that's also a reality. Maybe Eck knows he's not getting the club and he knows it's for clout. He knows that, you know, this is raising engagement levels. You know, and knowing Arsenal fans, he probably saw a surge in sign-ups for Spotify and that. So maybe there is an element of that. All possibilities have to be on the table, man. Man said, squeezing 15 minutes of DG in between meetings is my life now. I appreciate that, my guy. But the beautiful thing about YouTube is it lives there forever, man. So, you know, do what you need to do and the content will be there for you when you're done, my dude, man. But I appreciate that. 160 likes, 40 more, and we're at 200 people. Keep running that one there up, man. Realist talk. I want an owner who wants the club to spend money sensibly. That's the pain for me. It's just mismanagement. Mismanagement. Yeah, I want spend, but it's mismanagement from all levels. You know, again, I don't want to talk about it because I'm probably gonna. Oh, my tea's getting cold. I don't want to talk about it because I'm probably gonna start crying, my guy. But you know, the young players, you're not getting mad money. You're not getting decent money for them if we're meant to be self-financing. For every Iwobi, there's Gnabry, Benassia, Marlon, all these guys that are leaving for pennies. For me, the lack of proactiveness, you know, in football, you know, at the time, I'm not going to... In fact, if I'm Chelsea, I keep Kevin De Bruyne clearly because he's a quality player, as you guys know, people. But at the same time, Chelsea were like, you know what, you're not getting in the team. Let's sell him. Now it looks like pennies. But at the time, it was self-financing. They've got money. We're not getting money for our young players. We're not being proactive. And like I said, that might be the right or wrong decision. For me, selling Kevin at the time was the right and wrong decision. Mo Salah the same, maybe Lukaku the same because they want him again and all of these sort of things. But they were proactive with it. We're not proactive with it. You know, you look at, we just said it, Maitland-Niles, 1 minute he's going to leave, then he's staying. El Nene, I'm not saying it to criticize El Nene, and we know when you looking at the squad, centre mid's a gazy one, but people might say a year left. There's never been a better time to potentially sell Lacazette, El Nene. I want Chambers to stay, but to paint a picture, Callum Chambers, all of these sort of things. It's almost like players are half in and half out at this club. You know, for me, with the more experienced players that are being linked with moves away, I get the impression that they more want to leave more than we're trying to say, you know what, these are the decisions we're making this season. You need to live with it. And until we're proactive in all aspects, until everyone from the dinner lady, the cleaner to the owner wants to leave a legacy and be the best they can be, it's a myth, because that should be the minimum. Again, I'm not here to scream Chelsea's names and sing Chelsea's praises, but there's certain things where we praise our club for that at the Chelsea cities, even people below us, Villa these days, there's excellence. You know, all I want is that we're moving proper with the money in and out. We're having a bit proactive. The people, and ultimately accountability. Everybody is accountable because, as I said, you know, no one's to blame in a positive sense if we stumbled across success. No one would be singular to blame for our failure. I just don't see a proactiveness. I just don't see how Arsenal get out of this mess from an educated point of view. Beyond this Mighty Ducks Disney Channel, something crazy happens in the season. I don't see tangible reasons to see Arsenal moving forward. There might be some if you're connected with the club, if you're at the club, if you work for the club, if you're seeing it on a day-to-day, game-by-game basis. But For me as a fan that just speaks with you lot, that goes about my life and deals with when we're playing on the Monday or whenever, I don't evidently see it. And it should have happened the minute Spurs, the season we actually just pipped Spurs to top 4, the minute Spurs pipped us, the minute we dropped out of champs, the minute we dropped out of Europa, dropped into Europa, the minute we're now out of Europa, do you? I don't honestly think everybody's sitting there with a sense of urgency, in my opinion. And I want to be wrong. I want to look back and say I'm tweaking, but I don't know that. And I can't. A promise is a comfort to a fool. And obviously, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting difference. Much like on a football field, for me, I'm at that point where Arsenal need to show me all this chat, because Arsenal fans do a lot of talking, myself included. We'll always talk to the high heavens, but the time for talking is done. This is a season for tough decisions. We make decisions and don't make them. You know, Joe Willock all summer, 1 minute he's staying, then he's going. Maitland-Niles, El Nene, Leno, Granit Xhaka. Half of these guys make decisions. Sometimes it's the worst decision, sometimes it's the better. But the one thing I want to see is Arsenal be proactive. Seize your destiny, seize your future. We're in the halfway house far too often than not. And until that gets better, more of the same is going to continue. Shout out the Twitch gang as well. You're always appreciated. I'm always appreciative of the support you guys give me. Please make sure you are, however, hitting that like button, people. We're at 183. There's 400 odd of you locked in. We can do a lot better. Hi, DG. Hope good things start to turn around for our club. Me too, my guy, man. It's interesting that the Kroenkes don't need money, but Arsenal do. But Arsenal do to be competitive. Facts. And that's the sad thing, man. If Dan Ek takes over, expect Henry and Bergkamp to come back. I mean, it's common knowledge. It's expected. Let's get the likes up, people. Come on, like my man Ali has said. Courtney Redmond has said, Ek is vital to change in this club. How many times do we get a rubbish last-minute signing, get the board out, bring in pop-up people to run this club correctly? 100%. I just want footballing men. You know, you can be an accountant, but be a footballing man. You've got a footballing brain first and foremost. Yeah, you got to do up your accounting thing, but the lines get blurred way too often at this club, man. We need to destroy Kroenke's other businesses, so he has to sell Arsenal. Wow, I'd love that to happen again. Very emotional responses, man. Big up DG. Do you think this second bid right before the transfer window is a PR tactic to force the Kroenke's hand to either spend big or to pile pressure if the window does not go accordingly? Both. And I hope it does be both. And I think it's very smart because, again, if I'm Daniel Ek, I'm trying to be as aggressive with this over the whole summer because, you know, anything Arsenal do is going to be heavily criticized. Whether we were in for Buendia or not, people are just going to look at that as you went for a player, you was beaten by Aston Villa to it. You know, you wanted Odegaard, he's not there. It's going to, you know, there's many things there's frustration about. There's going to be frustrated. Just the fact that other clubs are signing people are being frustrated and foaming at the mouth. So I do think it's a bit of a tactical ploy from Daniel Ek, obviously within the market, in the same way I felt the same when he dropped it in the Super League. 100%. And that's what I meant at the start when I was saying, hopefully, you know, if nothing comes of this, we can win in that regards, my guy, in the sense of, you know, it might force the Kroenkes to buck up their ideas. It's never too late for people to change if you're on that Disney Channel hippie sort of stuff, but I believe we've seen enough from Donny in it, but it probably is it probably is. Again, we actually don't even, there's a lot of rumors even as to whether the first bid was made, my dude. So we'll never know, will we, truthfully, in that regards, man. And then there's a lot of blurred lines with this second one, man. I love to all my Brixton ones. David Dean, great chairman, also love the club. Bro, man like David Dean, them guys, they are needed. David Dean cared about money. Let's cut the crap. David Dean cared about his own pockets. The only problem in comparison to him and Kroenke, and I'm not saying they're on the same level, they're not the same people. David Dean gave a crap about the football club. He cared about making money as much as he cared about the football club. And I have nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. There's a lot that I actually don't find wrong with, in theory, what Kroenkes do. Is how they're going about it and whatnot, man. Exactly. And that's what I want. I want an owner that cares about our club. Ek is very serious. He has big backup. Dan has Dan has a plan. Blessings, bro. Casanova, hopefully, man. Hopefully. How much do you think realistically the Cronkies would sell to Ek? Again, it probably would have to be something maybe unrealistic. I'd say 2.5 billion, probably bordering on to more the 3 billion mark. That's where you're gonna see something happen. But again, will Daniel Ek say, as much as I want this to be happen, as much as I want this to happen, I'm not I'm not really trying to pay that. So again, you've got one man on one side who doesn't want to sell for any price, make him something that's out of this world. You've got a man that wants Arsenal. It's going to come at a price. We're going to see the resolve of both men. How much both of them want to reign supreme, time will tell, people. Time will tell. It feels like saying that I was about to say, see you next week on Dragon Ball Z and that. But Stan has to give up at least this time. Hopefully, if he takes over, will you shave your head like him, bro? Pay me $5,000 and I'll shave my head any style you want. I don't know what kind of funny boy free business you're on, but shout out to you, man. I don't know about that. You get me? 37 for Mustafi and that. You get exactly, Conte. This is my problem as well. While I sit here and I say Kroenke this, Kroenke that, you can't attack him for everything. This is the thing where I'm saying, where I said at the start, even if Kroenke didn't give a crap about football, just make sure the people that are running this club, bro, you could be in Miami doing whatever you need to do, Stan Kroenke, wherever you are. You might not even know what Arsenal look like. I don't care. Just as long as you as a guy that sat there and said, you know what, I might not care about football, but I want my club to reflect that I do. I want the best footballing men. If you get the proper executives, suddenly you're not mismanaging. Suddenly you're not being reactive. Suddenly you're being proactive. Suddenly you see the less incidences of wasting money. You know, Pepe is not a flop for me, but 72 million, that will divide opinion. Lacazette the same, Granit Xhaka the same. It's not just those big money additions. David Luiz, well, Mustafi's a big money. David Luiz, Cedric, Ozil's contract at the time, it was condoned, but you get the point. Who else is there? The free transfers of Willian, which somehow has proven very expensive. Mkhitaryan before that. Just the whole practice, what led to bringing Mkhitaryan into this football club. Again, this is the problem. You know, you've got an owner who there's so much wrong with him. You've got him bringing in people that are doing blurred stuff. But at the same time, my guy, what do I always say to that? It's a reflection of the owner. While I'm here, I criticize that Willian decision and things. We've had Wenger, Emre, Glazides, Mislintat, Raul Sanjeli, all of these different guys now, and the same thing has been there. And these signings are not banging. The club is not banging. The club is making one step forward and a million steps backwards. And very quickly, boy, I don't know what Arsenal's going to be known about, because we're not going to bag them little FA Cups like we have done in recent years sooner or later if we carry on like this. The problem is when something's been long lasting and it continues, you think the minute that it doesn't happen, there's a shock to the system. But Arsenal just use it as complacency. I take Ek over Dangote. Man like Dangote will just come over and do what Kroenke is doing. Don't trust that brother. Bro, he might not be, he might, or Ek might. We don't know these guys. I'd rather Ek than Dangote purely because it just seems like Daniel is back in his chat. Like, he's saying he wants the club. I'm hearing about offers and that. Bar the clickbait, we've never heard he's put money on the table for Arsenal. We hear he wants to buy Arsenal. He's this and that. It's what it is. Where's all this sentiment from Chambers coming from? I've always liked Chambers. I think Chambers is a calm squad player. But to play devil's advocate in a day and age where we need to make tough decisions, there's probably never been a better time to sell Chambers, While he's a good squad player, arguably, if you bring in another right back, you've still got Cedric on paper, whether he's better than him or not. You should be able to cope with it. So, but I will say this is what fans do, my guy, in that, our fans are weird. They'll beg for a man to stay and then a year later criticize them or say it's a terrible decision. They were saying to keep Oba. Now they're saying he wants to go. They're saying to sell Laka. Now they're begging him to stay. A lot of fans, and you're allowed to change your opinion. I'm not talking about logical stuff. I'm talking about fans that just live one week to the next. It comes from us not being proactive. Selling Chambers might be the right or wrong decision, but that's the problem with me. If we claim to be self-financing, we have to make money, and sometimes money can fall out of nowhere. While I don't advocate selling Martin, there's just a principle in that the guy was on the cusp of the first team. He got a one little chance and he made 20 mil. You surely should be trying to do that with a couple of them. Like, I think we should keep Joe, but if Joe doesn't start scoring next year or isn't playing like that, where fans are gonna go. They think he's a complete player now when he's not. Play people into the shop window. Suddenly, if you do that, like if you was to sell a Chambers, a El Nene, a Laka. You know, if you was to, you know, if Balogun didn't sign that new deal, but you tied him down and said, you know what, you're not going to make it here, suddenly you're looking after your club in the best way possible. You know, we need to do stuff like that. We need to control our own destiny. Pardon me. All I want is the club to be proactive for me. Let me make that a timestamp. All I want, hit the like button, guys, is the club to be more proactive across all areas. That's me. Where we at in terms of likes, and these last couple of days, people, you lot have been really supporting me and really coming in heavy with the viewership and all those sort of things. I really appreciate it. So yeah, man, keep it up, people. Really, well, I guess it's down to me to just keep bringing content. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Where we at for likes now? Hit the target 228. Let's keep moving, people. Let's keep moving. We should have sold Maitland-Niles to Wolves again. That would have had you would have had to have had a plan, my bro, because you sell him. That would, and a normal person would say, you know what, you sell Maitland-Niles, put that towards a right back, or put that towards at the time an hour or whatever. But again, you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan, man. We just need them to free up the club so we can begin to see whoever comes in their vision and plan. Right now, we get told a lot and get nothing at the end of it, 100%. And this is it, South London. I just want an owner who puts the right people in the right places. He might not come in and say, I'm going to spend billions in transfers, but have a vision to have the best scouting possible. Just, bro, do you know what? Even just a money thing. If you're a money man, if you're a businessman, surely, even no matter how much billions you've got, if a pound at this football club is being mismanaged, man, who spent that pound? Why did you spend that pound? What's going on there? You can't be a money man or be a team that makes cash if you can't value money. You know, why do they say, you know, but there's a lot of people who get rich, but they don't keep it because they don't value peas. They come into it, they get into money, they start buying mad things, making mad commitments. But it's the people who understand it, who care, who nurture it, who want more value for their peas. They see things, you know, because Arsenal is very reckless in the wrong way. You know, we're very scared. Moments where you need to be brave, we're not brave. Moments where you need to be a bit timid and think about stuff, we come across as extremely naive. That's just me anyways, man. It is what it is. Would you rather us invest big this summer and Kroenke stays, or Kroenke out and don't spend the tool till next summer? Well, I want to see spending, man. I want Kroenke out each and every time, but you know, I want to see spending. I don't want to see the same level of playing squad. And to a degree, as much as I want Kroenke out, and I'm fully behind all of them thing there, you know, all I want the man to do is invest properly and make sure that if people are signing off on certain things, that there's question marks. Because for me, it's mistakes happen in it. Like, let's be honest, some signings don't work out, managerial appointments don't work out. Mistakes happen in it. These things happen, but we don't know if they're mistakes. You know, we don't correct our mistakes quick enough. We let them run, and the things we do good, we cut it out. And for me, it's about getting rid of that really and truly. All I want is investment, proper investment. So if people, even, you know, I want the scouting team to be calm. So obviously, when we can't go toe to toe with like, let's say United City want Jules Koundé right now at Sevilla, we ain't got 50+ million to go for him. But when a man's at Bordeaux and Sevilla are interested in him, and I'm here on YouTube speaking about him, and you lot are speaking about him, move for a brother. When Fofana is there, move for him. You know, when Kante is there, move for these guys and move for them properly. Ndombele at Lyon, move for these guys. And that's the scouting thing. Or if we're gonna make big money signings, or big money, if not for price tag, for outlay and that, someone's got to answer for it. Because is Kroenke calling man up and saying, yo, you gave Willian a 3-year deal, well, go on for that? And why ain't the young players playing? He ain't doing that. You know, why did you give him that? Why did you bring in these guys on loan? Why? Ceballos was rubbish last year, apart from a couple of periods. Bro, Arteta, why'd you bring him in again? Well, go on for that. Like, somebody's got to answer these things. Like, and that's not me trying to criticize them, bro. In any walk of life, if I say something good, you lot praise me. If I say something bad, you know, the wolves come out. If you lot do something stupid in your job, you might get a disciplinary meeting, a warning. You might even get fired. You know, who is answering questions? Because that's the problem. Kroenke is doing a madness with not investing, but the money that is available, we're doing a madness that was with it. Not too many times have we seen value for money, and we can't afford to have that. For every Gabriel, there's a million Williams and all of these things. Like, we can't afford to have that. The ratio should be the opposite, if that makes sense, man. It is what it is, man. Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. A man said Stan Kroenke, conspiracy theory, Stan Kroenke is Daniel Ek with a hair wig on. Kiddo, come on now, that killed me though, man. I think Daniel Ek will improve Arsenal because he said he's an Arsenal fan since his childhood, so he'll definitely develop Arsenal to title contenders again. You have to accept, man, for what they are. I say you just look at what Arsenal needs to, if he was to come in, where the Arsenal need to go, how are we going there? You know, the time for chatting is done. Everyone's a fan, everyone's got a sub story, everyone's got a Disneyland channel, Disney Channel sort of story. So I need to see things do a madness. Sad thing is, Kroenke could easily drop 200 million and transform this club. Matt, it doesn't give a crap. You're right. For me, it doesn't even have to be a money thing. Just put people that do this thing properly, that really do this, like really do this when it comes to negotiating, really got good relationships with agents, really good at tearing up teams and rebuilding, because as we know, football's a cycle thing. We need men that know how to do this cycle business. You know, as I've said, one thing that annoys me is we need to replace David Luiz, and I know Saliba and Gabriel are there, but in terms of a leadership thing, there's a problem. Way before it gets to the point, where's the area? Whatever you think about Xhaka, the man's been vital under bare different managers. We know he's not levels. Where's the foresight to find someone that can do what Xhaka is doing to a higher standard and is a better player? Where is the guy that's coming in with Partey? You know, where are these things? You know, we're gonna. I know Aubameyang isn't scoring and it's being highlighted more, but we're gonna get into a day and age now where Aubameyang's gonna be 35 and we're gonna be like, oh, we need to sign a striker now. Where in reality, you know, you should be saying from the minute he signed the deal, yo, all right, Balogun and Martinelli, Tyrese John Jules, we're gonna train them man there up. Whoever makes it, makes it. If not, cool. We see a next striker. We might not move for him this summer, but we're gonna keep watching him, because I feel that's what you got to do with strikers. You know, everyone looks for a ready-made striker. Sometimes you got to watch a man for a couple of years and watch him develop and then do your thing. So better learning from hindsight, applying better foresight, just being proactive, man. Aston Villa, proactive. You know, they want to have a team with Buendia, Grealish, and whoever. They link with Ward-Prowse and that. Obviously, if Grealish is now sold, they've got 100 million and they've probably got other guys. Proactiveness in building a squad. Leicester, proactiveness. Wolves, you know, they've had a little system, little Portuguese system going on. It didn't really work out this last season, but they've torn it up and they're trying to build up their own thing again. Do you get it? There's several. Liverpool, you know, Liverpool used to be joke men like us. You know, Liverpool used to bid more for a couple players like Alexis and we got them. You know, man, we're looking at Oxford like, what are you doing going there? You know, but in hindsight, he was told they're trying to do something by Klopp. And then, you know, I'm sure Liverpool fans, you know, they can criticize John Henry or whatever in it and say what they want is for them to say, but they all sung from the same hymn sheet from Klopp to above, and now look, and that's the frustrating thing with me. Norwich have just been promoted; they're better hustlers than us. Edu needs to go on loan to them, and them man there need to teach him how to hustle. Because when he's saying we're selling, man, bro, you're not getting Buendia if you're not paying something dumb, you know, by his standards. You're not getting Jamal Lewis or Ben Godfrey or when the time comes, Cantwell and Aaron's if you're not serious with what we're trying to offer you, you know. And I think the gloves are off in the transfer window. It's never been a better time to be a selling club, because it's not about ability, it's about hustling. How many times have you looked at a transfer fee and say, how have you done that? That's what it's about. It's about hustling. It's about juking. It's about finessing, and we're not doing none of that. Like, we need to listen to some young scooter and do this thing properly. Like, we're not moving serious with it. Like, and then you can only get so far, and that's because you need hustlers. And then obviously everyone needs to be inspired, from the owners to the staff. Everyone needs to be inspired with what they're doing, you know. And that will happen. If everyone sings from the same hymn sheet, we get top four, we do things with the squad, then, you know, we'll want to do it again and again and again and again. But boy, we'll have to see. Once again, all I want is the club to be proactive across all areas. That's all I want personally. As a Liverpool FC fan, I'm so sad at Arsenal, but good things will return, guys, because we are in the same situation in the beginning of 2010, 2015. Only after that are we now back to our best. But you had a manager that overperformed with a couple of duds. Wenger did that in short as well. But bro, we ain't got owners that care about this thing, man. You got owners that care, man. All right, Abdullah said, Don DG, bro, sorry I'm late, man. Just came back from graduation, bro. Bro, don't apologize. You get here in your own time. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. Congrats on your graduation. You know, what uni course did you do? Hopefully you can get a grad job. Hopefully you found that already. Congrats on that on behalf of everybody, man. This is what I'm talking about. Greatness only. You know, again, you wanted to leave your own legacy in what you're doing. That's why you got a degree in that, and you're going off to do things. Going back to this example, man, after in this club, they want to do legacy. If you're, in fact, our ground staff are amazing. So they're the best. They're the best interest. They're the best example, actually. The Arsenal ground staff, the man who cut up the grass, they want to be the best at their job. You know, I need to see, and I listen. I talk about the academy, and I pray. I actually don't include the academy because I think Mertesacker, them man there, some other unsung heroes are doing great things in the academy. But them man there are crippled. A lot of people, even at first team level, a lot of men are crippled because of the owner. Certain man, even Arteta and Edu, as much as I criticize them, and there's things they have to be accountable for, there's things they struggle because of the whole dynamic of this football club. And I feel sorry for them. I don't think it is, my guy. But if it is, you know, apologies. I think that's something you're going to have to look at. I think that might be you, but it is what it is, man. I think he could take us to the top, but we'll see, man. Roman is the best owned, probably, man. I don't think he owned the club, to my knowledge. Bro, there's been a million Williams. Wait, that rhymes. No, bro, how many has there been, man? The second lowest investment owner in the Premier League. You're expecting miracles if he now uses his own piece to buy players. A leopard never changes his spots. Anthony, spot on, 100%. And this is why I know a lot of people are, yeah, like, oh, you know what, especially in Josh, you know, Josh, you can't help you. Your father is a lot of that. Even me, myself, kiddo, you're right. Tuchemani, Kunde, these men are there at Bordeaux. We're talking about them. But this is what I mean by Josh, in that Josh, I might be being harsh on him. You know, I think your dad's a bit shady in that he threw you and Vinay to the wolves, but at the same time, that's your dad, innit? Your dad who brought you into this world with your mum or us fans and us as a club. You know who your allegiances are gonna lie, man. The madness, man. Who do you think is to blame for the bad use? Who do you think the blame for the bad use of money goes to? Well, Kroenke fundamentally, because it should be your money and it's your club. For me, once again, like I said, if a pound is spent and I'm not seeing it, what's going on there? And I just believe everyone performs better when you know, imagine you slap Arteta in a room. You played 38 games last year in the Prem, right? Why did you have 37 different formations and lineups and them thing there? Why? You know, you wanted William where we've got the young G's, or we could have done something else. Why? You know, Edu, why? You know, just sit man in the room and say why. Just like with the players, everyone, me in life, I do that. I ask myself why all the time. That's the only way to improve, in my opinion. Just why? Ultimately, it's the owner for me, my guy, because it's his. But again, it's the people that he's employed. You know, it's the people that he's employed. Somebody, bro, man, are getting fleeced. Leo, know you're there to fleece. We should never have been in a position where if Pepe hits all them variables that they get 72 million. It's a fleece. I think Pepe's a good player. I think he's settled. I think he's certified. But is he ever going to be worth 72 million through no fault of his own? It's not his fault. And then you've brought a man in that's having to deal with that tag and never going to justify it because he's not levels like that. And that's not me criticizing him. That's just me criticizing the club. Fleeced. And for me, that also screamed panic because you wanted Zaha. I wanted Pepe more, but you wanted Zaha. This just tells me that, you know, because of how Crystal Palace wanted the upfront piece, you done the IOUs thing. I think it should be fans that make a change. If no one buys Arsenal gear tickets, we could be the change. Big up DG. Meta, I believe in that as well, but at the same time, it's probably a fallacy, my guy, you know. Rightly or wrongly, people are going to still buy tickets, still do things, even buy Sky Sports packages and whatnot. It's still going to filter in. And even that is probably a fallacy. There are things we can do beyond that, in my opinion, which we've stated, but it's a madness, man. We are finished until Kroenke leaves. The culture is rotten from top to bottom. I'm up early at work watching this in the States. Salute DG. I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate the support, man. Big up my early risers out there in America. Big up all the Americans and and all of those sort of things, whatever state you guys are in. 274 likes, people. Can we get that closer to 300? Pardon me. Let's scroll down and see what else he's saying. Conde won't even consider Arsenal. I think he would, but that one day is gone. He wants Champions League, and I definitely think we could have grabbed him before he went to Seville. Why did he go to Seville? Because they had that guy that was linked with us, Monchi, I can't pronounce his name, who knows how to find gems and sell them. Now Sevilla are going to get top dollar for him. It's a madness. Absolute madness. Keep smashing the like button, people, man. So where do we go from here? How do us fans get them out? Let's be honest. Us not buying merch is not hurting them for much. Is waiting it out the only thing we can do? Realistically, apart from stomping our feet, there ain't really much you could do. You can, to save your own mental health, if you don't want to buy shirts and invest financially, I agree with that. But the best thing we can do is just keep making our voices heard with our feet, obviously protesting and them things there when we're allowed back in the ground, making feelings heard. Obviously for the international fans doing what they're doing for engagement and whatnot. The problem is we need to keep the same energy. We've decided Kroenke out. So even if Arsenal was to win the Premier League, as stupid as that is next season, obviously we're not going to probably not be as on it, but we still have to get him out, because let's be real, we all want Kroenke out. We all know he needs to go. But sometimes the mood hasn't been like that. Ain't been adapting. Some man that have been doing that have been told they're negative and things. It's only when it gets to things like now, everyone's up in arms and things like that and wants to do the things like where we're at. It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. I appreciate everybody that's locked in, man. 500 of you. DG, what about Cantwell from Norwich as a replacement if we cannot get our man? Is a serious baller. I would take him, but we probably need a bit better to be the talisman of the squad. But I would take him 100. Baller, as you said, man. Very tidy player. 2 billion is more than a fair price. Arsenal has debts north of 500 million. Kroenke borrowed an extra 500 to buy Usmanov shares. Financial firms value Arsenal at 1.3 billion. Time to go bye-bye. The way you've put it, it makes sense, but also, the amount of money you can make on Arsenal is ridiculous. And also, a lot of businessmen borrow money to buy things all the time. That's one reason the rich stay rich. They they keep their money liquid and they do what they can in that regards, man. We are not a big club, let's face it. Let's be realistic and let's not talk like it's that easy. No clue what you're on about or who you're talking to, but I still think we're a big club. We're not a big club in terms of challenging for honors and that, but we still are. And I don't think any fan is talking about this being easy, but what they would like to know is that they have an owner or people involved in the club that at least comprehend how hard it is to get there and make an honest commitment to try and getting on that road or making it to the end of that road. So shout out to you, Jimmy. Fan base got to boycott the sponsors. It's probably not going to hurt them. You don't need to be amazing to be a decent player. Thomas said, let's be real. Why would Kroenke sell though? Fans hate him, but he's making money. Why realistically would he care? And that's fundamentally for me, the money needs to be put on the table. It's as simple as that. Big up George from Canada. The home-based fans who are season ticket holders are the problem. Give up your season tickets and let's get an empty stadium. You can still make an empty empty stadium, with that. And I wouldn't advocate giving up the season ticket. I condone people. I understand people who have, but I wouldn't condemn people who haven't, because you wait a bloody long time. You invest a lot of money, and fundamentally it's for your football club, and you can hold on to it and freeze it and things like that. So it's a bit of a mad one, man. Please, for the sake of my sanity, sell up to Ek, Arsenal fan for over 30 years. No reason to cut Josh slack. He could have easily said, Pops, give me 200 mil quick. I want to try a thing. We are finished until Kroenke leaves. The club is rotten from top to bottom. Unfortunate, man. Oh, you finished school, not uni. I apologies, man. How do I know, to be fair? Congratulations. Well, that's not really graduation then, innit? It's default, man. love for that, man. It breaks my heart that no matter what promise, it breaks my heart. I can't read today. It breaks my heart that no matter what promises KSE make, they'll always break them. I've never seen an owner who cares less about the club. Mike Ashley might be trying to rival, man, in that regards, man. If your dad puts you in charge and won't give you peas, that's your business. Facts. Aye, big up AD, man, because I was, fans were always making me feel that I'm not costing Josh. I'm not costing Josh enough, man. I'm not cutting Josh enough slack, but you're making me feel I'm not, man. Bro, if I'm the owner of Tesco's and my board are buying 20-inch TVs for £100,000, 100,000 each to sell for 200, I'd be going mad. Why Kroenke ain't fussed about the internal side just don't make sense, because he don't care, because that's not where probably his interests are, and that's probably not where the balance sheet is being read from in him, man. Vote with your feet and your wallet. Someone has to dig up dirt on Kroenke. Firstly, big up yourself. You heard the saying, you're your father's child. Josh is exactly that. Joke we have about the process, but that is the process. Fact. Fans must unite and protest Kroenke out in our stadium. Don't stop until the job's done. 100%. 500 people watching, 295 likes is good, but it could be better. People, make sure you're hitting that like button if you haven't already. Where we're at. Oh, fair play. We're at 319. Let's keep pushing towards 400 people. I respect everybody that's locked in. Let's keep progressing. Let me see a couple more of what you guys are saying, and then I'll get into some reports of there, man. Burkamp said Eck won't spend a lot of money and sack managers every time like Chelsea, but he'll be 1,000 times better than Kroenke. That's what we want, innit? That's all we want. What position should we prioritize this transfer window? Centre midfield, right back. For me, centre half. Boycotting sponsors is a flawed concept. The sponsors is a flawed concept. It's not going to hurt Arsenal indirectly. A lot of people don't know, but more time these sponsors are already paying certain fees and certain things. The sponsors is not going to bang. Big up DG. I know it's about the takeover, but would you take ISAK? He has a release clause and Edu apparently wants him. We're going to get onto that soon, man. We're going to get onto that soon. Yes, if Arsenal win the Premier League, if whatever, I still want Kroenke out. But obviously, if he starts moving like how we want people to move, then naturally you'll cut a man some credit. Naturally, man. Appreciate that, man. A smoothie, my guy. DG, what's your reasons for thinking Arsenal are still a big club? I mean, it's self-explanatory. We're not in Europe. We're not performing, but the fan base doesn't go away. What we've given to the club doesn't go away. We're still actually signing players that shouldn't be signing for Arsenal Football Club where we are. You listen to half of these players that we can't attain, the Camavingas, the Grealishes, the way they speak. We still are a big club. We're just not winning trophies. We're just not a powerhouse in Europe, and we're not where we used to be, It's like Newcastle. Newcastle are still a big club to me. Leeds are a big club to me. Big club isn't just we're the biggest and baddest and Champions League winners. It don't work like that. If you don't believe that, then fair play, innit? It is what it is. And if City go out of Europe tomorrow, are they going to not be a big club? I'm not too sure what the Europe thing means, man. Our global brand is taking a hit. I agree with that, but let's not be emotional, man. Like, Tom, I respect you, but what I'm not gonna do is sit here and explain my reasons to people I don't know. News has broken that apparently KSC has rejected the second bid of Daniel Ek, so we knew that was gonna happen. We knew it weren't getting nowhere. Like I said, it probably needs 3, 4, 5. It's going a long way. Man said, people. Yeah, I think Neves is better than Xhaka, to be fair with you. He's more mobile and dynamic, so it's calm, man. with the sponsorship, with sponsors, my angle is just you got to make the club look like an unattractive business venture, bad public, them kind of things. Same with merchandise, tickets, fantasy, man. DG, when's the next Roberto Carlos performance? Wouldn't everybody like to know whenever the next match is, man? Personally. Panic buying always happens at Arsenal's transfers. No money, we get leftovers on loan. There's a clear difference between big and successful clubs. Exactly that. We're not successful right now. Hey, shout out to you for articulating that stuff, man. Bro, we're not getting Grealish. I'm not entertaining that one. But of course, who wouldn't? Like, who wouldn't want Grealish? But Arsenal fans need to get that one out of their head immediately. Man said, Cronke, Ian, you're allowed your opinions, but this is now turning into a dictatorship. So you're blocked for that one there. And you're starting to troll. So, yeah, man, there was always going to be one idiot. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. But you'll know what somebody does when they're finished on Pornhub. And like I say, post not clarity is meant to make you see common sense. But, boy, exactly. Cronke out, sell Arsenal, Daniel Eck in. Anybody who wants to be serious in. It is what it is. Let's get into some of these articles, though, people, quickly. Let's get into, let me set my timestamp. That's 1:10. Just going to call it in this, man. Enough playing around with that smoothie. Jeez. Oh, the kickback from that smoothie. Oi. Hey, Seamos. Oi, oi, oi. Sorry, people. Oi, 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 oi. I feel sorry for a man like Pablo, man. 56 years old, goon off a life. DG, for the first time, I'm ashamed and embarrassed to be an Arsenal fan. And that's it for me. Like, obviously, I'd say I had the glory years of being an Arsenal fan. I'm born in 95. So, obviously, Invincibles, all of these sort of things, I had it. But I've been big enough to know Arsenal haven't always won the wars. We've won a couple battles. We've got no divine right to do anything. But for me, Pablo, and I'm sure me at 26 and you at 56, the values, the way we did things, the way, you know, doing things with class, acting with honor, reflecting our fan base, you know, doing things with integrity. A lot of these things, among the other things, they're not reflecting what Arsenal's been about. And that's what kills me about this football club. And that's what really kills me inside beyond the obvious, man. Shout out from Cali. What happened to the Camavinga shout? Oh, everyone got new season tickets and the shirts, innit? The Camavinga one selling dreams. You know, they sold us Mbappe dreams, Camavinga dreams. You wait till the next young French bad boys about. We're going to get sold dreams about them, man, there again. It's a madness. Please stop spamming. Is it time for lunch? Soon land, my guy. Soon land, man. Well, it's just people trolling, man. It is what it is. But yeah, let's carry on with what we actually are here to do. Make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Obviously, pardon me. Make sure you're at the next watch along at 3 p.m. UK time. Obviously, you know, Maitland Now's business. Shout out to the one person who hit the dislike button. Ladies, I told you, if you're taking in DG's content, please don't do it around your boyfriends because they're going to come and do the social bad boy thing. Definitely don't make sure you're buying any of these because they're not going to like you for that. In fact, buy it, man. You know, he's obsessed with, man. When you lot are doing the naughty, he probably want you to wear it. So, yeah, check out the DG merchandise. Let's get rid of this. Let's crack on first with Fekir now. Bro, we've been linked with Fekir for a hell of time now, man. I'm getting bored of seeing these Fekir rumors. Let me zoom in for you guys because they're doing you lot dirty. But apparently Fekir absolutely wants Premier League move with Arsenal interested. Real Betis midfielder Nabil Fekir is keen on a move to the Premier League this summer after interest from Arsenal. We all know we missed out on Buendia. We don't know what's going on with Odegaard. He would cost around £26 million, which would be good as well. Apparently, Charles Watts said we were looking out. He's keen to move to the Premier League. We all know we was following him 2016 to 18 before he looked like he'd go to Liverpool. Liverpool have probably gone off that one there. So yeah, man, it is what it is. I would love Fekir, you know, got a wand of a left foot, good creative player, you know, still only 27. It feels like he's been on the scene for a minute. He's still only 27, people. 10 goals, 33 assists this season. Obviously, when you're a French player, I'll always advocate for you. He's got over the injuries somewhat. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it, man. Well, Sorry, that's in relation to Hakan. If we look at the French's internationals record, he's got 5 goals and 6 assists in 33. So it's a bit meaty, but I'd be all for it. He can dribble, he can create, he can play in a couple of roles. He can hit a set piece. He wants the ball. He wants to be the difference maker. Obviously, Fekir probably got a point to proving that people think you're injury prone. People think you're past it. When I look at it, it's a bit like Liverpool in that people weren't really rating Mane like that at Southampton. People were turning up their nose about him. People were saying Salah's a flop. Firmino's had his own personal adversity. Man used to say Henderson can't pass a ball forward. Fabinho, people were saying he was a flop at Real Madrid and that despite what he did at Monaco and things like that. They had players that obviously they're buying into the club, they're buying into the manager and things, but they've got that healthy itch on their shoulder, and that's what I want to see, people, really and truly. But someone like Fekir isn't going to come in until we get rid of people. So let me know your opinions on Fekir, people. If we move away from that, Xhaka, the latest on Xhaka, as you lot know, people. Well, again, why aren't these websites zooming in? Xhaka seems to be very close to completing his Roma move. Apparently, long story short, the only reason I've got this article up, because I've actually read it. The short of it is, a couple of other Premier League teams were in for him, but he refused the second offers because he's given his word to both Roma and Jose Mourinho. So his move will be done shortly. Obviously, ISAK, he's come a long way from his struggles at Borussia Dortmund. He's a player that I said I wanted and you lot said you wanted. I bought him in FM as well. Apparently, Arsenal monitor 17 goal forward with 60 million release clause. Eddie rates him highly. Eddie rated Buendia highly. What happened there? Eddie rated Thomas Partey highly, and apparently we only got him because of a certain injection from Stan Kroenke. And as much as I think Edu is crippled by things above him, Edu needs to pull his finger out, because what has Edu negotiated here? Fair play, done his first real thing I've seen is the Balogun thing, and he obviously worked with Partey, but I'm really yet to see a real body of work for Edu, and I think this is a good summer for Edu to prove his worth and prove his critics wrong, and his team, because it's not just him, it's the team he's assembling. So I have to assume the team he dismantled, there was no need for that, and the team you've assembled is not levels. But apparently, again, zooming out. According to the Athletic, let's see what the Athletic have said. What's all this? Yo, that's big, but no. I don't know about that. I don't know, password for what? What's all that? But anyways, Arsenal are reportedly eyeing Real Sociedad forward ISAK as a possible transfer target. 21 years of age. It's understood Arsenal technical director Edu rates him highly, and that he's likely to be high up on the North London club's transfer target list if they offload a striker this summer. He's got a 60.2 million release clause with the Spanish guys. I love it. I want him. I think he's a baller. 17 goals, 34 appearances, 21 years of age. Resale value there needs to be happening. Only going to happen if we sell Lacazette. If you sell Lacazette, how much are you getting realistically? You're hoping for 30, probably getting substantially less, nowhere near the 60 odd million. And for me, this is what paints a picture about scouting, because before ISAK was at Dortmund, where was he and where were we? Also, when he was at Dortmund, he kind of was moving like damaged goods. People didn't want to take a chance on him. Why didn't we move then? Now we're waiting for a man that's found his form, found a home, found his form, feels important again, and he's now an appreciating asset. We've got to be able to find gems where there's not gems. One man's trash is the next man's treasure. In fact, I always see one TV show on Sky when I come home more time. There's this lady, long story short, this lady goes to like trash dumps and things, and she finds people that are throwing away sofas and furniture and all those sort of thingamajigs, people, all of those sort of things there, yeah. And she fixes it up and she sells it, and then she goes and tells the person how much it would have been worth. That's the same example. Football is a game of opinions. A 20-year-old might have a poor season. No one's taking a chance, but you've done your due diligence. You've scouted. You've seen all he needs is a little bit of confidence, and he's going mad. Obviously, Isak's had a good season, and he's going into the Sweden team, going into their Euro, so his stock is always going to rise, assuming if he has a half-decent one. Think he can improve physically despite his height personally, but he can, his link-up play is good. He is a good takeover finishing chances. He is quick. He does make good runs. There's a lot to improve. 60 million, probably a bit expensive. Can we do that for around 35, 40, 50 odd? Why not? Could you give someone away? Why not? Away from that, though, Fabrizio Romano has said Emil Smith Rowe is ready to sign a new contract with Arsenal until June 2026. So a 5-year deal after negotiations started in March. Just waiting on the last details to be completed. Then it's done. In the meantime, Willian is expected to leave Arsenal this summer, as well as Granit Xhaka and Guendouzi. Now, apparently, Guendouzi is going to sign a new deal to allow us to sell with an obligation to buy. In fact, what I can do on the topic of Guendouzi, before we get back into that, people, the fate of Guendouzi subject to negotiations with Arsenal, people. Again, why is it not letting me zoom in? As a connoisseur of mysteries of the transfer world, the young president of OM, Marseille, has already tied the signature of Flamingo midfielder Gerson to satisfy the wishes of George Sampaoli. And I think Sampaoli's a fiery manager, as you've seen at Sevilla. I think Guendouzi will be a perfect fit then. The coach, a foul completed in 2 weeks at the end of a nice liar poker, of which Lyon and FC Barca looked for an amount of 20 million excluding bonuses. Long story short, the one leading to Matteo Guendouzi, who has reached an agreement with Marseille, is still subject to negotiations with Arsenal. The London club wants to separate from the French environment. Again, Google Translate not being helpful there. Loan to her for Berlin and injured. Obviously, injured is in the last furlong of the season. A transaction of less than 15 million is expected. Now, that's obviously different, in which we've seen some reports say Arsenal want him to sign a new deal and then they want to get close to 20. They do have an option of his contract. It's a shame because I do think whether he's a squad player or a regular, he can tie into what we're doing with a couple of young players. But it is what it is. The closer we get to sorting out the future of Matteo Guendouzi, Lucas Torreira, who else? Matteo Guendouzi, Lucas Torreira. There's a next midfielder there that I'm forgetting, but there's Joe Willox, there's Williams, Maitland-Niles, all of these guys. The quicker we sort these futures out, the quicker we can actually see things. On the topic of Maitland-Niles, I know a lot of you have been asking me questions on such people. We're going to get into Maitland-Niles. So again, shameless plug. Make sure you've hit the like button on that. You've hit your reminders, and you've also got your subscribe button locked. So that's that in relation to Matteo Guendouzi, people. Enough about Daniel Ek. We've also been linked with, Ben White for a while, and apparently Brighton have set 50 million asking price for Man United, Arsenal, or Liverpool to sign Ben White. Liverpool have just signed Canute. They've got Joe Gomez working his way back, and Van Dijk's obviously the big man. So I think they're more than covered. I would think Liverpool could go for another centre half, but I'm sure they're more than covered. Also on that topic, again, I'm sure with Phillips and these sort of guys, maybe one of them can bag a place as a fifth choice. I like Ben White, can play centre half, defensive mid, right back, can play in the back for a free. I like him a lot. Don't think he set the world alight as much as he did at Leeds in his second season at Brighton. Don't necessarily feel he's the Brighton defender that deserves the call up. I think Lewis Dunk did, but he fits the bill of what Southgate wants. 50 million, we're not going to pay that, innit? If allegedly Seville want 50 odd million for Jules Koundé and there's 50 million for Ben White, I'm going with the Frenchman personally. But as you lot know, the 23-year-old has been included in England's 26-man squad. He's been linked with all of these clubs, but there's been no offers, no tangible sort of things going beyond that. Apparently, Brighton are desperate to keep him. They rejected a 25 million bid last season, so there's been no offers for him. Maybe this is just a bit of was. I can't lie. I'm pretty sure Ben White just signed a new contract at Brighton, but I can't lie. If I'm getting called up by England, I'm getting my agent in that room and saying, yo, we need to deal with another one, really and truly. And who knows, Graham Potter's been linked with a move away. If he was to get the Spurs move, Spurs are being linked with a new manager every day. I would consider my future if my manager left. If my manager left and the situation is getting blurred, I would look at something different personally. This is in relation to Jules Koundé, people. The Athletic have claimed in their radar report that Man City came close to completing a deal for Jules Koundé last season. He's been strongly linked with Arsenal. He's 22 years of age. He's been at Seville for 2 years. And again, in terms of resale value, Real Madrid want Koundé. If you brought him in at Bordeaux, Real Madrid want him in 2 years, you could say, all right, cool, take your 60 million. We've got Gabriel and Saliba now to do their thing. But again, that includes learning from hindsight, applying foresight, and having a proactive plan. Seville got a proactive plan. I'm sure they want to win league titles. They want to win this. They want to win that and whatnot. But they know that football is football, and we've got to sell certain players. They know players will be sold. They even sold Rakitic and he returned. So I'm pretty sure they're with all of that, people. But Koundé would be a great signing for us. But again, I don't think they're going to move for him. And again, I'm sure he would go to City, but surely Laporte or Ake, one of them would be moved on. Barcelona are apparently keen on Laporte and Raheem Sterling, people. So make of that what you will. Apparently, Juventus have approached Arsenal with an ambitious exchange deal for Hector Bellerin. Well, Ramsey for Bellerin. It's unclear if money is being offered by either party in pursuing of that, because we need a box-to-box midfielder, but I wouldn't advocate it. So it's Ramsey's apparently being allowed to leave. We want Bellerin to go. Either party has been linked with, well, for Ramsey, a return to Arsenal. For Juventus, they've been linked with Bellerin before. So I think it's all nonsense, people. But according to Sport ES, Juventus have entered. Move, man. Juventus have entered the fray for his signature, with the Italians prepared to offer a player plus cash involving Ramsey. If they offer us any amount of money and Bellerin and money for Bellerin, amount of money, Ramsey and for Bellerin, we fleeced it, to be fair with you. And to be honest, Ramsey's agent would work a blinder. For me, I'm not on the Aaron Ramsey thing because there's too much sentiment. Yes, I would take him. Bro, I can't lie. I want Jack Wilshere back, if anything. Ramsey's done more, but I want Jack Wilshere back because he's still only 29. You know, he was 16. You know, Jack Wilshere propaganda quickly, people. He was 16 when he bossed the thing for us. Obviously, he's still only 29. He's a free transfer. You know, we've got 40 games next season. We talk about having characters in the squad and things like that. Especially with David Luiz and Xhaka going, if nothing more than a character, who better than my guy Jack Wilshere? Obviously, we've got the Sakas, the Smith Rowes, and all of these. Who better to help them with the pressure of being a young player for Arsenal and give you the scope and the confidence than Jack Wilshere? For me, I've always told you, like, I think Jack Wilshere should get on his coaching game now. I don't know. Something just tells me Jack Wilshere one day is going to be a coach for Arsenal Football Club. So Arsenal, if you're looking out there, give Jack Wilshere that players you pay deal, that incentivized contract. I'm all for it, people. But away from the banter, Ramsey's had a good move. Personally, he's earned a lot of money, and I'm sure he's won Serie A. But for Juventus, it's been a costly free transfer. And like I said, they're trying to rebuild their side. The money that's being given to Ramsey in terms of a yearly salary, it's an issue. As you lot can see here, Juventus are struggling financially. Several players are expected to be uploaded this summer. Ramsey is said to be one of them. He's apparently open to returning to Arsenal. But if I'm him, I want a 4-year deal at Arsenal, or I want my same wages and I'm taking a 3-year deal. Now, again, there are some 30-year-olds that are probably worth it, but what are we going to get with Ramsey? I do think, as much as I'm one of Aaron Ramsey's biggest supporters, I think him being a goal-scoring midfielder, when you look at it on the face of it, incredibly overstated and overrated in that regards, people. Big up Chris Wheatley. Apparently, Arsenal have 2 or 3 targets for each position they're looking to strengthen in. Hibernian have set an asking price of 5 million plus a sell-on clause for the highly rated left-back Josh Dogue, although Arsenal have yet to make a bid for him. He also said those close to Dogue don't think he'll end up at Arsenal, but with the club looking for a young profile left-back, a move for the Scottish defender would make sense, people. Obviously, as I said, Bellerin has an offer from Villarreal where he'd link up potentially with his old boss, Unai Emery. So on that, people, Emery wants to unite with Bellerin at Villarreal. Villarreal are looking to bring in Arsenal right back Hector Bellerin, who was very sad when Emery was sacked by Arsenal in November. Sky Sports journalist DiMarzio has claimed that Emery is keen on bringing the 26-year-old this summer, and he's went on to confirm that the defender will be departing. So it's clearly common knowledge that he will be leaving. You know, Spaniards never played in the top division. It's like Jude Bellingham and Jadon Sancho. They've never played in the Premier League at this moment in time. They will by the end of their careers. You know, you could play for a manager that likes you. You could play at, you know, you want to play in La Liga. There's La Liga there. Obviously, you're back home in Spain. You're 26. So, again, you'd be enjoying your football. It'd be a good adventure. Go do your thing, people. There doesn't seem to be anything else other than that linking him to it, people. So, it is what it is in that regards, folks. Obviously, another cheeky little plug. And with that, that's the end of the transfer business, really and truly, people. So just before I lose track of these timestamps, people, let's add that to 128. Say 129 before it gets a bit mad. But yeah, people, that's the timestamps. Again, make sure you're all here and whatnot. And then, yeah, let me see what you guys are saying, people. I'm supposed to be on someone else's live soon, but everything have to wait, man. Bellerin and Uno, always a good match. Bro, anyone who takes Bellerin is a good match. Ramsey is overrated by Arsenal fans. People pretend he was Santi or something when he left. That's true. And plus the Euros is coming up. It's not going to be easy to get deals done. Stay away from Ramsey, not worth the squeeze. I mean, if we're talking sentimental value, I want Henry back. The difference is with Henry, what's his role going to be, man? What would his role specifically be? I appreciate you locked in, man. Big up Henok. Hopefully that's I've said it your name correctly, man. Shout out to H. Greetings from New Zealand. Big up yourself, my guy, man. Terrible deal, man. 5'10". Come on, it's a couple inches pause off 6 of 6 foot. And I mean, I'm not calling him Cannavaro, but come on now, Cannavaro was a midget. As long as you're a good reader of the game, it's cool, man. It's cool. But yeah, man. What else? I feel like I'm missing someone else out as well, people. What else am I missing out? You coming up with rants today? How? It's Wednesday, bro. But anyways, I probably won't be there tomorrow. I'm quite busy tomorrow, to be fair with you. But there was something I'm missing for you guys. Here it is as well, people. Just before we, obviously, just in relation to Sabitzer, he's a player I think we should take a look at, because obviously last season people were quoted a madness for him. Apparently, Marcel Sabitzer might be the next player to leave RB Leipzig this summer for pastures new. Now, as you lot know, Upamecano to Bayern Munich. Ibrahim Kanute is linked up with Klopp at Liverpool. They've left. Apparently, Sabitzer, meanwhile, has made it clear that he is open to a new challenge, having spent the last 6 years at Leipzig. Tottenham have expressed an interest in the past, but his 50 million release fee priced him out of the market. This year, he could leave for around 17.5 million euros. He's got 12 months left on his deal, and there is no indication he might renew that. The Leipzig CEO, Oliver Mitzlaff, has also indicated that the club are looking to reduce the size of the squad, which hints at his sell. And 17.5 million, you could do a lot worse. I think he'd be a calm addition for the squad, as I'm sure a lot of you guys think, man. Like my man said, calm player. Well, obviously he's not Puyol. They're literally not the same human being. But, you have to give man a chance. Calm down, my guy. You're spamming, so you're going to go on timeout, because I see some spamming comments from you earlier, and we're not trying to do none of that, man. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Cannavaro never got violated. He was a tiny guy. Thoughts on Odegaard being the priority signing? Not too keen on the massive asking price. It scares me. Nothing to do with Odegaard, just the fact of you're desperate. Real Madrid know you're desperate. You either have to overpay, and if he is your number one target, obviously Arsenal have more than one target in all positions if we believe that, but it just feels when we're linked with a player, it feels like they're the only one. It doesn't feel like there's a contingency plan. So if we have put all our eggs in the Odegaard basket, I think we're taking a crazy risk, in my opinion. Bro, Henry probably start up front, to be fair. Henry and Vieira can get games here. Henry, Bergkamp could probably play 10. Vieira, Henry, Gilberto, bro, dust off your boots. Sol Campbell, couple man could play. Couple man. Lauren could get a game. Couple man play in this team. Big up DG out here making cocktails while listening to DG the realness. Big up yourself, Claudius. I appreciate that. Wish I was there with the cocktails, man. Make sure you make an extra strong one for the guy, man. What is your realistic lineup next season, bro? I don't know. Until we sign new players, just whatever the strongest lineup you guys can currently do with whoever is here existing, I would say, really and truly. Apart from that, it's anybody's guess. 412 likes. I'm very appreciative of it, but keep it going. Bro, Tony Adams can get a game. Lee Dixon can get a game, bro. At this current moment, Steve Bold could grab a game through at centre half. I back Steve Bold. Steve Bold is a better centre-half partner for Saliba and Gabriel than a couple, man. I can't even lie to you. Like, it's a bit of a madness in that regards. 100%. Like, oh, man. Don't know for the realistic transfers, my guy. You know, if you want to hear my comments on that, hit me up at 3 p.m. We'll do all of that, man. Kim, I don't think he listened because we explained that, my guy. But love for that, man. Ruben Neves is a very tidy player. Would like him at the club, man. Probably would be our top goal scorer 100%. Well, at this moment in time, even though he doesn't play on the wing, I'd rather Henry on the wing than entertaining Willian, to be fair with you. If Ainsley Maitland-Niles wants to be a right back at this football club, he can do it. But that's all I'm gonna say until the next one, man. Already, the Jim Gooner TV, big up yourself, but I've already offered my opinions on such. They're both of a chance where Saliba and Mavropanos needs opportunities. I'd probably lean towards Saliba because we've played more of a, I think he's got a higher ceiling. I think we've put more of a significant outlay on such. So I'd say that, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, man. But anyways, on that note, people, I'm gonna have to love and leave you lot, people. It's a quick lunchtime thing, and I'm going on somebody else's channel, or I should be on someone else's channel now. So I'm gonna see you lot later, people. Obviously, let me make sure I share my link with you guys. Who became a member? Big up yourself for doing such. I need to find that. Big up Skynet. I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to love and leave you lot, people. But like I said, the links in the description. I mean, in the live chat description in relation to my next live stream. Obviously 3 p.m. if you're lazy. This video, when it ends, will take you towards such. So yeah, man, I appreciate everybody locked in. On that note, though, I'm gonna keep it moving. I've said to you before, that I believe the future is seeing managers get loaned out. Arteta might get loaned out. Who knows, man? But I'm gonna love and leave you lot, man. I'll be back again at 3 p.m. UK time. So set your reminders and do those things. Hit the like button on both the videos. I'm out, man. Stay safe.